Hey guys, Zibboyeye or just Zib is fine, and today, we close the books on the One Missed Call series as well as my retrospective on J-horror's heyday. But I'll leave why I consider this movie the end of an era on hold until the end of the video. For now, let's start with the inception of One Missed Call Final. The persons behind the story and script return. On the other hand, the series still can't seem to keep a hold of their directors, as once again, the director of the previous movie is replaced. This time, Manabu Aso takes the baton. The cast features a few notable actors, like Maki Horikita, who would go on to voice Luke Triton in the Professor Layton series. As for the following actor, his influence really surprised me. One Missed Call Final would be the feature film debut of Korea's Kyun-suk Jang. A frequent in K-drama, Jang netted himself several fans in East Asia. So many fans, in fact, he was able to start a career in J-rock with his premiere single topping Japanese charts in week 1. But possibly the peak testament to his esteem occurred when he was appointed the public relations ambassador of Seoul in 2010. Wow, that's quite a leap. And to think this movie is one of his earliest gigs. But can the film leave a legacy of its own? Let's find out and look at One Missed Call Final. The story follows Emily and her class trip to South Korea. A classmate called Pam is bullied to attempted suicide, causing student Asuka to vow revenge. With the help of Mimiko, Asuka targets the class one by one with a deadly email. Beside her deaf boyfriend Jinwo, played by Kyun-suk Jang, Emily must reach out to Asuka and put an end to the curse. One Missed Call Final has a greater sense of spectacle than its predecessors. Some of the deaths could be considered over the top, it might take some out of the movie, but the kills are arguably the most bloodthirsty in the series. I grimaced a few times when watching. I didn't mind the exaggerated display too much, especially when these deaths are the penultimate of the series. A new visual motif is the green hue that engulfs Mimiko. I think it makes her appearance unique. The strong color gives weight to Mimiko's presence. I regard the story favorably outside of one flaw. All but one of the characters forgot about the cursed call. This results in a short portion of the movie recapping Mimiko's backstory. It's to catch up new audiences and refresh fans, but it feels unnatural. The curse killed a girl on live TV. That's not something that will fade from public memory in a few years. The rest of the film though is all upside, especially the curse. The call differs from its previous iterations. Asuka sends the curse via email. The recipient can avert their death by forwarding it to another class member. However, the student who receives the forwarded email is forced to accept their fate. Unlike the first and second movie, the anticipation isn't derived from when the curse will strike, but who it will strike. The curse is distinct from its predecessors, as well as Ringu, which the prior scenarios derived from. One Missed Call Final is not only the freshest in the series, but a title that stands out amongst its J-horror contemporaries. I also love how the curse operates. Rather than a character, Mimiko acted as the embodiment of abuse. However, Asuka's vengeful motive in relation to those she targets makes the curse much more personal. Asuka gives the curse much more depth and drama. That's on top of the suspense. Characters react to the curse in various ways. With the introduction of the forward rule, a soon-to-be victim can easily become a killer. The curse isn't just a device that looms over the characters anymore. Instead, it becomes a tool for any means they desire. It raises the questions: who will get the curse, who will they forward it to, and what lengths the students will go to protect themselves. There are so many variables, the movie is brimming with anticipation. The story and suspense is the most character-driven of the series. I adore it. As I do the ending, which I'll cover now. So if you're weary of spoilers, skip to this time. Otherwise, let's get to it. It is revealed that Asuka is really the student who attempted suicide, a twist that I didn't see coming. The reveal also illuminates why Mimiko would assist Asuka. Throughout the series, Mimiko has released the inner rage of abuse victims. The bullied Asuka fits her predilection. Oftentimes, horror sequels become a bit flexible with continuity, so I admire this film as well as the trilogy as a whole to keep this consistent characterization of Mimiko. The curse lifts from Asuka and Emily's relationship. Initially, Emily was the subject of the class's harassment. However, when the students aimed their torment at Asuka, Emily became a bystander. The forward rule is analogous to the bullying shift to Asuka. Because of this, the curse holds symbolic meaning. Not only that, but the strenuous past between protagonist and antagonist makes for a dramatic conflict. Emily and Asuka make up. Confronting Mimiko, Emily accepts the curse under the condition she will be the final victim. Mimiko agrees, however, Jinwoo forwards the curse to himself, ending Mimiko's terror. I really enjoyed this ending. Emily needs to learn to put her friend before herself, but she also must keep her promise to see the beach with Asuka as a commitment to their friendship. Meanwhile, Jinwoo regrets not answering his ex's phone to save her from the cursed call. In the end, Jinwoo is able to save the life he wished he had before. The ending preserves Emily's redemption as her resolve to sacrifice is still valid. At the same time, Jinwoo accepting the curse concludes his arc while allowing Emily to keep her promise. Every need of the characters are met, resulting in this neatly wrapped conclusion. The characters' arcs also reinforce the theme of the movie. The series revolves around the cycle of abuse. Thus, the subject of bullying is an appropriate backdrop. Emily and Jinwoo accepting the curse demonstrates one must be willing to accept abuse in order to stop it. Ending the cycle that perpetuated the series is a great end to the trilogy. In addition to its message, the film also presented a surprising undertone to me. One Missed Call Final builds an underlying theme around communication. Jinwoo and Emily connect through sign language. Even the phone, a means of communication and once symbol of technophobia in the series, becomes associated with friendship. Asuka and Emily's phone charms form one, representing their bond. To top it all off, Emily and Jinwoo call upon the help of others via the internet, who spam and freeze the line in which Mimiko resides. Technology expanded communication that united several people and saved the day. And that's what I find so special about One Missed Call Final. The film's flaws are scarce with limited consequence. The visuals were the most intense of the series, and the creative curse allowed for suspense. And the strong character-driven story paved the way for a tight conclusion with a great message. But above all else, One Missed Call Final puts an end to this era of J-horror. From Ringu to Pulse to even the preceding One Missed Call films, J-horror of this period is often characterized by its technophobia. In contrast, One Missed Call Final suggests technology can forge bonds between people. Counter to those before it, the movie presents an optimistic view of technology. That's why One Missed Call Final is not only a conclusion to the trilogy, but in my eyes, a conclusion to technophobia. And that also concludes my little late 90s, early 2000s J-horror retrospective. Of course, I couldn't review every J-horror film of this time. In fact, there are some I intend to look at later. But as is, I had a great time reviewing these movies. As I said in my initial One Missed Call review, Japanese movies are my passion. Foreign films to me are more than a quick visit to another country, it's like an insightful look into a culture of people. This holds especially true for horror movies. Fear can be trauma, dread, it can be something to keep locked up deep inside. So for these filmmakers to put their fear up on the big screen gave me an introspective look into the people and culture behind these movies. And I'd like to explore more in the future. If you've been following me on this nearly 2-year retrospective, thank you, and there's more where that came from. I've been Zibboyeye, or just Zib is fine, and thank you for watching. Zibbo bye bye!